we're running with it. Yeah. I think I was probably watching Pokemon or something. What came out right now?
We were watching all of it. Were we not watching all of it when it came out?
I don't know what came out.
Like, what the...
I don't... What's going on, y'all? TSE here. Jesus Christ. Today we're talking about... Here's the thing. So they just announced the Naruto live action. Okay? And so we're going to talk about live actions in general. All right? So we're talking about anime and games, okay, that are transitioned into either TV series and or movies, okay? So the Avatar one just came out, we were talking about. I haven't watched Avatar. I've seen a couple creators that say, here's the thing, out of all the videos I've seen about people talking about Avatar, the main consensus is that it's okay.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the sense is that but a lot of people say the same thing in the sense of it's been rushed, and some things have been turned around because apparently in one of the episodes, Aang was teaching an old girl how to waterbend, even though in the show she teaches him.
Yeah. And Aang was flying.
So
which is dumb because
Aang
he needs the glider. He needs the glider.
Right.
I don't understand.
So here's the thing. So I feel like, in my opinion, there's only 2 live actions that got it right. Okay, and that was The Last of Us and Kenshin.
Yep.
Last of Us and Kenshin. Yeah. Okay, but seriously, what Kenshin did, Kenshin took from the OAVs. They didn't necessarily
from the OAV Samurai X.
They didn't Samurai X. They didn't necessarily try to do they were like little callbacks and stuff like that from the series, but they primarily focused on taking material from the OAVs. Okay, from Master Kenshin up until he got old.
Exactly.
All right, and then The Last of Us. Here's what The Last of Us did. What I feel like every live action should do. Okay, it didn't feel rushed, and you can only tell a story within a certain amount of time. Be it a movie or series, whatever. You have X amount of time, right? But what The Last of Us series did was what the pieces that they took out and the pieces that they put in enhanced the story instead of making it feel rushed, instead of taking from it, right? And so what people are saying about Avatar is that it is rushed. So what people are worried about with Naruto is like 200 plus episodes.
Yeah. Not to mention
without filler.
I mean, without filler.
You're trying to compress that in one movie.
I don't really think that's
not possible.
That's not possible.
So a lot of things that they said the same thing with One Piece. It felt rushed. They skipped a lot of stuff.
Like 1,000 plus episodes. You can't compile the first 200 episodes into eight.
No, they couldn't do that.
What was that?
That wasn't even the first 200. It's the first maybe 50.
But get the fuck
at best. Maybe.
It's stupid.
Yeah, but so they skipped. No. So what they said is not only did they skip stuff, but they tried to, rapidly tell a story of these characters.
You can't do that,
right? They try to fit all this into this short time constraint.
Okay, and then they make each episode like an hour.
But that's the thing, and so that hour will cover, several arcs, right? And so you're trying to. Here's the thing, you can still get emotion and character development. That's what I was trying to think of. You can still get emotion involved and people invested in these characters, character development from an hour episode, right? But what the show tries to do for One Piece is take something that has been built up not only over years but several episodes, like you said, there's 1,000 episodes, and try to cram it into this 1 hour show of what? How many shows?
Possible.
6 episodes,
it's
I think
like
it was. 8 episodes.
It was 8.
When again, The Last of Us took. They took out what they took out in The Last of Us. It wasn't so critical or so vital to where it took away from a character.
What they took out was just the gameplay in between the story.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They kept all the cinematic.
So they changed. Okay, so they changed. So instead, and that's the thing. If you're gonna, which is what I was getting at, if you're gonna change something, at least do it to where it enhances the story. So with The Last of Us, in the game, you have spores. You can't, Joel and Ellie, you can't necessarily see the spores unless there's so much of it, so condensed. Right. And then that's when they put on their gas mask, okay?
Yeah, there we go.
They took that away, and it gave them kind of like a hive mind,
Yeah.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that collective, it didn't take away from the story.
Yeah.
It still worked with the story. And it still they were still able to progress and then have this character development, which is pretty pivotal to the story, right?
So,
and these new shows aren't doing that. They're trying to rush it. They're not doing that at all. And so that's what we fear is going to happen with Naruto. They're going to rush it, and they want you to have this emotional connection to Naruto and Sasuke within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour.
Bro, let's be honest. They're gonna ruin that. Let's not even do.
Very much.
Did you watch the Full Metal live action?
That thing was garbage.
It was garbage.
Did you watch the Death Note?
It was garbage.
Death Note was trash.
Bosh.
Both
Bleach was a 5.
I didn't even know there was a Bleach. I didn't even know there was a Bleach live action.
And it was
terrible.
Still garbage.
Terrible. Like it was. I can't even say it was okay. It just. Honey, no, it was bad. I'm sorry.
There's nothing that he
I'm a
can
Bleach
say.
fan.
It's
yes,
but it was garbage.
But let's focus on the one that did it right. The Last of Us. Like you said, they did things that enhanced it. For example, for everyone who's played The Last of Us the game, there's one part where you enter a school in the game. You have to fight a bloater. They removed that from the TV series. Now, what they did was there was one part where you have to make it to a building and you are sniping, or a sniper is rather hitting you, and you're trying to dodge between cars. What they did there, they added a faction that was not in the game. That faction is now following you, trying to get you because you have a child that they want, or whatever the case may be. The zombies, whatever you want to call, they came up out the ground.
They put that bloater back.
Yeah, and put him in.
So they just move stuff around.
And that was perfect because you didn't need the school part.
Exactly.
The school part there was no real story to it. It's just you, the player, walking around and exploring. There was a little dialogue. And they knew you don't need that to keep the story going or to keep it linear, to keep that nostalgia going. Because when I didn't see it, I wasn't bothered by it at all.
Right.
So another one that was a really decent adaptation was The Witcher.
Ooh, damn! I'm
The
so sorry.
first two seasons. Yeah, the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, well,
Three.
My bad. The first 3 because the fourth.
Season 3 was.
The season 3 is Henry Cavill's last one.
Season 3 was still it's still great. 3 was okay.
So the next one, season 4, is not going to be with Henry Cavill.
I think season 3 just pissed me off because I knew he was going to leave.
Yeah, he was gonna leave.
Oh yeah, it's because
he gave such a diplomatic answer to like how he's trying.
But see, that's the thing. The Witcher stayed faithful. Here's the thing. The Witcher was good. I mean, it was good if you didn't play the games. If you played the games, it was a decent adaptation.
Yeah. I mean,
it wasn't as good as The Last of Us.
No, stop.
You think it was as good as The Last of Us?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
The Witcher was one of the best adaptations, along with The Last of Us.
They did their homework.
No, Henry Cavill
did his
homework. The producers were trying to change it, and he was like, no, he was correcting them. Henry Cavill did his stuff.
She doesn't do that.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. They don't.
So what happened with season 3?
Season 3,
he's exiting. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
that's his last one.
Yeah, I know.
That's his last.
They kept trying, just like he just said. They kept trying to rewrite it. And he was like, you know
not
what?
even just being woke. Just you're just trying to switch it in.
Yeah,
I watched
they literally said they want to ignore the
first 3 episodes, and then I was like, I don't.
Here's the thing. A lot of these companies take
the 3rd season.
A lot of these companies take these shows or these games and they look at it and they're just like, we're gonna take something that people love and is so beloved, and we're gonna change it. No, don't. No, we don't want
Avatar.
We don't want to change it. If you want to make it live action, that's fine. Make it live action, but stay faithful to the source material.
That's what built the fan base in the first place.
The anime, you ever notice that anytime something goes wrong is because it doesn't stay faithful to the source material.
Yep.
God of High School does not stay faithful to the source material.
It
doesn't. It didn't do.
Tower of God does not stay faithful to the source material. But people liked it. They didn't read it. If you read Tower of God, they skipped a lot. They skipped
the betrayal wasn't even supposed to happen in the first season.
The betrayal comes chapter, I think, like 100 or something like that.
That shouldn't
They
even
skipped
happen.
a lot. Okay, so typically, stuff does bad when you skip a whole bunch of shit. And like we said, The Last of Us literally took. If they took it out, they either replaced it with something. They didn't take out integral parts of the story either.
Exactly.
They took out little small details. Small details.
You just won't even.
And then added other. You wouldn't miss and added other details that helps them tell this story. You see what I'm saying?
That's so well.
So so that's why we're like, oh, with the way live actions go, you have literally a handful of ones that were good or decent at best, right? So you'll have The Witcher, you have Last of Us, you have Kenshin.
Where are you ranking those? Those are the good ones?
Yeah, these are good ones.
Okay.
I say you have a handful of good ones.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
No,
so again, so Last of Us, Witcher, Kenshin, what's another good?
That's it.
What's another good adaptation?
That's it.
So we're just aside from because, like I said,
well, no, that doesn't.
so I'm gonna put Avatar. I'm gonna put Avatar because Avatar is decent. The live action is decent, so I'm gonna put Avatar. So you got 4 good adaptations compared
really
to
well with the choreography and special effects. Dude.
right. So episode 1 was fire, right? So
except for the earthbending.
The earthbending was cool.
Was bending like they were lagging.
The only thing that did get me was the fact that he was at first when he was doing it, it was fast. Then when he started getting fucked up, it seemed like it took him longer to do it. And I'm just like, dude,
so you have these.
Well, the firebenders were just fucking throwing that shit like a
yeah.
Like,
so
Zuko
you have these
and
4
Iroh carrying that show on their back.
Bruh.
these 4 shows or these handful of shows that are good compared to several failures.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
So you have, but here's the thing: I don't want to count Detective Pikachu simply because that wasn't even a manga or the game. I mean, they didn't really go off.
Like it's hard. Like when you think of like movie adaptations of video games, like
That's not an adaptation. That's just a random ass story. That didn't follow.
I was about to say that it didn't really
saying.
follow
Like,
anything. It was in the
when
Pokemon
they tried
verse.
to do, when they tried to do
Yeah.
something like that, the only one that was actually successful that I can think of for a video game for me,
Sonic was okay.
The first one was Mortal Kombat, and then Sonic.
Which Mortal Kombat?
The first
You mean the one in the 90s?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say
yes. The one with
So,
Robin Shoe
again,
and all of that.
You have
That
a
is
handful, like I said, you have a
The
handful
fight
of
scenes,
ones that
choreography,
work compared to all the ones that fail. So
Does
you
the
have
Street Fighter with Rob Van Dam, Jean-Claude
Van Damme.
Is it a cult classic now? Yes, but when you really look at it, it was not. I'm like,
bro.
They tried their best to make it as
No, they didn't.
For that time period.
Well,
No. It was a catch up because at that time period, you know who did the same exact thing? Because all it was a franchise attached to a big star name. No. Not Mario. Tomb Raider. Because Tomb Raider was attached to Angelina Jolie.
Wait a minute.
Both of them were good, though.
I'm glad you just said that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Angelina Jolie, that's not
Both of them
that
were
was
good.
That was amazing.
Tomb Raider 1 and The Cradle of Life, those were great. Movies.
So how did you feel about Uncharted?
I didn't really watch it. I didn't care for it.
You didn't watch the movie?
No, I
7.5.
didn't care for it. I'll take his word for it because I didn't watch it.
It is the. Keep in mind, this is the softest 7.5 I will ever give any. It was not terrible.
So it was accurate enough.
Enough.
Yeah, it was because they
Enough.
took literally what they did was they took scenes from the game.
Yeah.
And then they added their own, just kind of like.
And my man Mark Wahlberg, he fits the character he played
For Uncharted?
Yeah, for Uncharted, he fits.
He
Yeah,
fits
Tom Holland
Sully?
as Drake.
As Drake.
I didn't like that. I was like,
that.
he's too young.
Do you know who I wanted to see as Drake? I thought
Bradley Cooper. That's the
Bradley
best.
Cooper would have been a nice.
He would have been amazing.
Bradley
He would've
Cooper,
been amazing.
or you might not like my answer, Ryan Reynolds.
No, his acting style is so annoying.
But that's how Drake is.
Drake can be more serious than
When he played all the games. When is Drake serious?
He was
a smart ass.
He finally was serious in the last one, Uncharted.
Yeah, exactly.
That's after years, though.
Drake is a smart ass.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Ryan Reynolds is a smart ass.
Bradley Cooper is a better fit.
He is a better fit. But Ryan Reynolds would have worked for me. That's the only two people.
But yeah, but like I said, you're still.
His acting just got annoying to me after a while. I don't want to see him.
But everything y'all just mentioned, they're all of those shows, all of those movies are still just kind of they're like subpar. They're middle. They're C level, maybe B level.
Tomb Raider.
Except for compared to Last of Us, my nigga, at fucking A level.
Nah, bro, Tomb Raider was up there. Don't do that. Tomb Raider's up there.
Just go back and rewatch them because they're free
right.
on.
I'm comparing
Amazon Prime.
Right, but I'm comparing. That's the thing. I'm comparing Last of Us to One Piece live action.
Doesn't even
to Death Note, to Full Metal Alchemist, to
really
Dragon Ball Evolution.
We don't talk about that. That doesn't exist.
What?
Exactly. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm comparing The Last of Us to all these other that they wanted to do what The Last of Us did. And the only one that got close to it, in my opinion, was The Witcher.
Really?
Witcher didn't get close. Witcher did.
It did it. Because I enjoyed it very much.
What made me so mad was Henry Cavill wanted to do 7 seasons of The Witcher. And they ruined that. 7 seasons of this man trying to make sure it stayed solid, true to the story.
Yeah,
I would have loved that.
And I know he did not want to fight.
Well, apparently now he's the
Warhammer 40K.
I've never played Touch Warhammer, but now I want to.
Yeah, I want to now.
Now I want to play it.
He said he's played it. He loved it. He's going to do it justice. I want to play it.
I want to play it now.
Because Henry Cavill, he's a nerd, bro.
Yeah, I want to play it.
He's a bona fide nerd, and that just I love that.
It touches. No,
I have no idea what the fuck Warhammer is, but now I'm about to get into it.
Yeah,
so,
I've never heard it. What is it? 40K? What is this?
What he needs to do is fucking helm Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate needs a good adaptation. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the studio name, Lothario Studios. Hey, get Henry Cavill to make y'all shit, all right? Because that.
First off, pump brakes. Who would he even play?
That's what I'm saying.
It's not
There's
playing.
So
if he is somebody in Hollywood who actually cares about being faithful to the source material, get him on the project.
They just want to woke and just bastardize it up. It's kind of hard.
First of all, Baldur's Gate is going to be a problem because there are too many pathways.
It's hard. That is hard. You would have to turn that into like some black what is it?
Black Mirror?
Black Mirror shit.
Yeah, just random stories because
that's
what it is.
the only way that it would work.
It's gonna be random.
So it would have to be a TV series.
I don't know how factual this is, but one person said based on the number of routes you can take in that game, there are damn near 17,000 endings. I'm never even gonna try and get close.
Somebody's gonna do it.
Somebody's gonna do it. But my thing is,
not try. Somebody
how do you direct
their life
with multiple endings?
Because you only focus on even if you do a Black Mirror kind of style, right? You only have to focus on 3 or 4 different endings, right? So 2 or 3 really good positive endings, and then 2 or 3 really bad ones. So you can do like how. Here's the thing: you can do like how Stranger Things do.
To do it,
right? That's the thing. You can do how Stranger Things do. I don't know if you noticed. Every single Stranger Things season is set up the same exact fucking way. You have your 2 or 3 characters going one way, another 2 or 3 characters going another way, and they all congregate in the middle. Even though they see each other, here's the thing I hate about Stranger Things: they do not relay information. They see each other. They have telephones. They do not relay information. Something will critically happen. Let's say I'm a character on Stranger Things. Something will happen. I see this mind flare or whatever, and I will see Ike over here who fought the mind flare with me last season, or I don't know, a couple months ago. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And instead of telling him, "Hey, motherfucker, there's that mind," they do not share information. Ike goes off and does his thing and find his own piece of the puzzle, and then the last episode or last 2 episodes. Oh shit, I didn't know you was doing this over here. Yeah. Motherfucker, you ain't talked to me even though last season we killed this mind flayer already.
And the crazy part is when they do relay the information, no one's really shocked. They're like, oh, okay, let's just do this thing.
This would have solved so many problems if you talked early. Matter of fact, not solve problems. You could have been so much better prepared.
It would have made it so much easier.
Your lives would have been so much easier. So, how can you do a Baldur's Gate show or even movie in that case? You do it like that. You do it like that. So you can have multiple people doing their own fucking thing.
It would be a lot.
And then come together at the end. There you go.
If Henry Cavill was going to be the one directing it and making sure it stay, I could see that. I'm skeptical.
I don't know what character he would play. I mean,
that's the problem. He could do whatever he wanted. There's multiple classes, subclasses. He can do whatever. If he wants to just be a high elf
He
just for
could-
the hell of it,
Well,
he can
since
be a high elf.
the main character you create, he could just be the main character, and it could be whoever the fuck
Exactly.
he wanted to be.
You can't go wrong with that.
He,
Now it's
he
just a
would,
matter of-
yeah, he would definitely be the main fucking character then, if that's the case.
It's just a matter of getting Jahira right, Shadowheart right, Asturia right,
You
Karlach
don't need
right.
well, I guess if you're gonna do it like that, then you would need the entire cast.
Because
Lizelle and
keep
all
in mind
that.
now, Jahira's like an old. She's apparently like
She was in Baldur's Gate 1
one,
and
yeah.
2. Yeah.
A lot of the characters they bringing back, those are the older ones that are just now in the newer. So it's like, is he going to start from 1, or is he going to let me just adapt 3, or am I going to try and mesh this together?
Well, my nigga, that's a 7-season show right there.
Facts. That's exactly what. Then I'm okay with it. If he does not a movie like seasons, I'm cool with it. Let's do that.
There you go.
We can do
So, I don't have faith for the Naruto
Oh,
live
no,
action.
it's
I don't
gonna
have
be
faith
trash.
at all. I don't
They're
have faith
not
at all.
gonna be able to do it
From what I'm
either.
hearing, the dude that directed it was the one that was originally handling Bleach's anime, and he was really ruining the directional path of Bleach. And that's this is what I heard, claiming that's why Bleach wasn't doing well, and then my man came back in and took over 1,000-Year Blood War, and he's doing it justice now. He kicked that man out. That's the same guy that's handling Naruto. So for me, if that's the case, because apparently he's ruined other animations as well. If it's the same,
It's not the same dude, is it? It's not the same.
that's
dude.
what I heard. I could be wrong. Rumors. For me, it's just like
No,
you're
just
just kind of like adding on to. I already know it's gonna be trash,
You just have to wait.
and now you're just
see.
further confirming it's gonna be trash. It could be rumors. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's-
we'll see.
I'm not gonna confirm it and say it's facts. For me, it's just like out of all the adaptations we've seen, two video games were good. Lara Croft and 3. Lara Croft, Witcher,
And Uncharted.
and Uncharted.
Yeah, you can do Uncharted.
Okay, so 4 then, and The Last of Us.
Four.
So
And The
4.
Last of Us, yeah.
And then anime.
2? Wait, 2?
Kenshin and who else?
Kenshin and
What's that anime that was good?
Oh, never mind. Just Kenshin.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
What other anime I
No,
mean, I guess
okay,
if
it's
you
just
want to,
Kenshin.
if people want to consider Avatar,
They can,
It
but
really
it's not.
is.
Avatar
This is really.
is an American.
It's an American-made show with
So
heavy anime influence.
that is, it can stay over there. There's only one good anime that was adapted live action that's
That
good.
was Kenshin.
That was it.
Yeah, that's it.
One Piece is
One Piece
okay.
is garbage.
It's just okay. It's
garbage. Yeah, okay.
Like Yu Yu
garbage.
Hakusho was okay.
oh yeah, yeah.
They rushed the hell out of
I
it.
don't want to talk about it. They literally fit the dark tournament and everything else into the. No.
It was okay. I would never rewatch that.
Animation was dope. Special effects was dope.
Yeah.
Other than that, no.
The live action track record for anime. Let's
It's-
leave video
it's
games alone,
bad.
because video games can be hit or miss.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some other video games that did live action that they did great. I just can't remember right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave that alone. But anime, they have the worst track record of all time.
I feel like if you're gonna tell a live action Naruto anime correctly,
You can't. It's too
out
over
of
the
out
top.
of 7 or 8 episodes,
It's too over the top.
you gotta
That's
end.
why
You gotta
the movies
end.
didn't
You
really-
literally have to end that live action after the Haku fight. When Naruto and Sasuke fight Zabuza with Kakashi, you have to end the live action right there. Don't go past it. Don't sit
They're
up
doing
here.
a movie, right?
Is it a movie or is it a show?
I thought it was a movie.
I thought it was a show.
I'm not even sure anymore. If it's a movie, okay. If it's the show, I would want them to get close to.
Tribute. It's
No.
It's gonna
No.
it's gonna hit that Tribute.
It's too over the top. No, it's just stupid.
After the Haku fight, it was kind of like, in the middle. No, I would love to see Training Exams live action.
They're not gonna be able to do that.
They're not gonna
The
be
League
able to.
Guard
Especially
fight is
these fights, they're not
impossible.
gonna be
It's
able to do it.
impossible. They're not gonna be able to do it.
It can be done. I just don't know if they're gonna do it properly.
Oh,
Like, for
it's
example,
a movie.
for
It's
example,
a movie.
Do you want to
So-
know how I know the Lee fight can be done properly? Even though this movie was garbage, Eternals. Remember the speedster from Eternals?
Oh,
They're
one of the
not
best
going to
speedster
fix
Hold
it.
scenes.
on. I understand. But if they can do that with a speedster, That's all Lee was doing.
But that's Marvel, and they're just in Disney. They're not.
But
gonna,
I'm saying
they're not gonna put that amount of effort and budget into that shit.
Okay, well if they don't do that, then it's gonna
if it's just because it's a movie, they're making a live action movie. If they're doing just the movie,
then Haku and Zabuza will be perfect for.
Then they gotta stop at Haku. Or if they at least here's the thing: if they're gonna do the movie, they need to do a live action of one of the Naruto movies. Either you end it at Zabuza and
I mean, none of those movies are even canon.
No.
Hey man, so I guarantee you they're not gonna stop at the Chunin exams. They're gonna stuff so much shit.
I mean, that's too far anyway. If we're being realistic, Chunin exams were too far.
This is the movie we're talking about,
and I'd be scared to even see how they do the Gaara and Naruto fight. I don't want to see that.
So they're probably gonna skip it, and you know what the ending of that movie is gonna be? It's gonna be Naruto versus Sasuke at the Valley of the End. It's the movie. I guarantee you that's what it's gonna be.
So they're gonna skip everything.
Do you know how much content they would have to skip?
They're skipping Orochimaru. They're skipping the reproduction.
I bet you. I guarantee you that movie ends and Naruto fighting Sasuke.
That's stupid.
I bet you it ends. And I'm not talking Naruto and Sasuke fighting at the hospital. I'm not talking. The Chunin exam. Well, they didn't find the Chunin exam. I'm not talking about the forest. They're gonna have that forest scene in there, and then after the forest scene, something's gonna happen or whatever.
There's too much content, bro.
I guarantee they're gonna stop that movie.
You can skip. See, Naruto has a lot of fucking filler. So there's a lot of filler you can skip.
You can skip the filler, yeah, but even still,
but even the mains is too much to just try and cook. It's probably gonna make it like an hour and 30 minutes or something, maybe 2 hours at most. You can't put all that in 2 hours.
They're probably gonna start it off with Naruto being bullied and whatever, and then he wants to be a ninja. Then it's gonna go into.
Can you even build up enough emotion?
No. I'm telling you how it's gonna go, and then they're gonna go into the Chunin exam, and they might not even do the full exam. They might do a part of the exam, and then they might go directly into the Sasuke retrieval arc.
Bro, that'll piss me off. You just irritated me.
So
I really don't want it to come out.
The movie has to end with them fighting Zabuza, and that's the more logical, yeah.
That'd be the best place to end it.
And then see how that does financially, and then release the next one. Ends in the Chunin exam with him fighting Gaara.
Wait, hold on. Time out. I want to see the Chunin exams. Don't get me wrong. After Zabuza, what happens after Zabuza? Is that Chunin exams right away, or just something in the middle?
It's filler because they have to go back to the village and everything to heal up and everything. So yeah.
Okay, just filler.
Yeah. And then they go into it goes Rock Lee versus Gaara, and then they have their whole fight, and then eventually Neji and Naruto, and then Gaara. They're
gonna skip all that. If that's the case, they're gonna skip all that.
With Naruto fighting Zabuza, because other than that, it's just like it would just be pointless because you're gonna skip they're gonna skip shit. They're gonna skip shit for it to be a movie.
Way too much.
For it to be a movie, they're gonna try to pack a lot within that 2.5 hour movie. They could make it 3 hours and it still wouldn't be enough.
It wouldn't.
So
yeah, and then the Zabuza actually fits. Now I'm trying to recap all the episodes.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
2 hours and 30 minutes would be enough for you to get the beginning where Naruto actually first does the Shadow Clone Jutsu. You can do like a few small scenes, like you do like small cut scenes of him, being a little, troublemaker or whatever you want to call him. Show like how he was, terrorizing the village.
At best, though, if you really want to stretch it, and you have to cut out some things, but if you really want to stretch it, you can end it to where right before he fights Neji. So Lee and Gaara have their fight.
That's too far.
You think so?
That's too far.
Actually, that is too far because they're in the forest.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot about the forest.
The forest part was long.
Yeah, they fight Orochimaru, and then Orochimaru bites Sasuke.
And keep in mind, even though they don't really push her development that far, Sakura does have a development. So you can't skip that. Like there's too many moments of character development like within all these scenes. So if you try and skip something, it's like, okay, how did you go from this to this? Just like that? Like how does that work?
Oh well, that's how they did it in One Piece. So
yeah, and that's why One Piece didn't. I mean, it was received well because One Piece has a massive fan base, but overall, One Piece wasn't great, in my personal opinion. It was okay. I'll give it a 7. Every single time. It's a soft 7. It could be a 6 and I'll still be 7. Okay, it's fine.
All right, y'all. That's gonna be it for this episode. What do y'all think the Naruto live action? Where do you think it should end? All right, and how do you think it's gonna end?
I don't think it should happen. Period. Whatever.
Definitely, it should not be a movie. It should be a series for sure.
It should be a series.
But that is. Oh, also Henry Cavill, please get on Baldur's Gate. You got to get on Baldur's Gate. That
would actually be amazing.
That would be 7 seasons. That would be top tier. Anyway, that is all. Thanks for watching.